We have so many luminaries here today. Did you get it? Luminaries? Lighting? Okay. But we're here at Marist, and they have opened up their doors, as they always do, to everyone here in the Hudson River Valley. And I'd like to bring to you the president of Marist College, Dr. Dennis Murray. He's provided outstanding leadership as the president of Marist College since 1979. He's actually transformed Marist from a small local college to a nationally ranked institution of higher education. Marist's longtime relationship with IBM Corporation has helped distinguish this college as one of the most technologically advanced liberal arts colleges in the nation. He's been involved in virtually every major community organization in the Hudson River Valley region. He serves on the boards of Roosevelt Institute and the Greenway Conservancy for the Hudson River Valley, and he has received countless awards for his significant contributions to our Hudson River Valley. Please welcome our host and a very good friend of all of us, Dr. Dennis Murray.
Thank you, Charlie. Welcome, everyone. When I hear kind introductions like that, it reminds me of chewing gum, something to be enjoyed but not swallowed. So I don't swallow any of those remarks, Charlie, but it's good to hear them sometimes. So welcome to everyone. I'm pleased to not only welcome you to Marist College, but welcome you to our beautiful and historic Hudson River Valley. On this historic day, in which this important announcement will be made, I want to begin by congratulating and thanking all those individuals who have played a role. And anytime you have a significant accomplishment like this, numerous individuals are involved. So we should start out by congratulating our governor, Andrew Como, and we're pleased that his representative, Amy Vargas, is with us. Amy's sitting over here. I've worked closely with Amy on our Regional Economic Development Council, and I'm confident that we're going to be producing one of the best strategic plans for this region of any in the state. Of course, Senator Steve Saland, who played an important role in helping make this venture possible. Our County Executive Bill Steinhaus, President of Dutchess County Economic Development Corporation, John McEnroe is with us. Of course, Charlie North of our chamber plays an important role in all these initiatives. Vinny Casalino of the Solar Energy Consortium, and of course, John Hickman, who is the supervisor of the town of East Fishkill, and I'm pleased to say also holds a Marist degree. So to everyone, and I know there's others that will play a role in this, congratulations and thank you. Our Hudson River Valley has played an important role in our nation's history. The area has inspired painters, poets, and U.S. presidents and inventors since Henry Hudson sailed by this very site over 400 years ago. The Hudson River Valley has also been the birthplace of some of our nation's most important technological advances, from Samuel Morse's invention of the Morse code here in 1832 to the world-class research that IBM conducts in Poughkeepsie and Fishkill today. Many people consider this region to have the potential to clearly be the Silicon Valley of the East. So this morning I join all our community leaders who are with us today to welcome Leno to our community, to welcome Dr. Bevan Zhang to our community, and to welcome Mr. Jinwei Sui to our community. This Hudson River Valley is a special place. It is an international place, and your presence here will make it even better. Again, congratulations on this announcement, and welcome to Marist College.
Now I'd like to introduce to you formally the head table. On my right, to your left, the supervisor of the town of East Fishkill and a graduate of Marist College, John Hickman. John? Our own state senator, Senator Steve Saland. Senator? The president and CEO of the Dutchess County Economic Development Corporation, Vincent Casalino. The Linuo Group Executive, please welcome Dr. Bevan Zhang. Our Assemblyman, Mark Molinaro. Last but certainly not least, representing our governor, Amy Vargas, the Regional Director for the Empire State Development. Please allow me to introduce to you once again, to bring to the podium, my very good friend and partner, Mr. John McEnroe from the Dutchess County Economic Development Corporation.
Thank you, Charlie. We pulled together an extraordinary partnership, and look what happens when you work together. You know, 2 years ago, while I was at a conference in the great flyover zone in the middle of the country, I was asked, why would any company in its right mind come to New York? The better question is, why would any company in its right mind not come to New York? This is where the big dogs eat. Team Dutchess, as created by Bill Steinhaus, was envisioned to be a flexible group of Dutchess leaders that would assemble to attract and assist companies throughout our country. An example of how that would work would be Marshall and Sterling, who jumped in at the very last minute after a previous underwriter was unable to produce a policy and came up with insurance that was needed to close on this deal on the West Campus. And they did it in under a week. It was amazing. And that's typical of what Team Dutchess was able to do. This time, Team Dutchess reached across political boundaries to access talent from across our entire region. Senator Solan and Assemblyman Molinaro, of course, brought the access to the extraordinary resources of Empire State Development, as you heard, headed locally by my friend Amy Vargas and statewide by Kenny Adams. We partnered very closely with the Solar Energy Consortium, headquartered in Ulster County. We've had a long-standing relationship with them, and it's been a great collaboration over the years. We partnered with Central Hudson Energy, headquartered here in Dutchess County, and we partnered with the Hudson Valley Economic Development Corporation, led by Mike Oates, headquartered over in Orange County. Linuo's entry into Dutchess County's manufacturing community is a strategic addition to the clean technology cluster that we have here that includes renewable energy, microelectronics, biomedical, medical device manufacture, and it's all here in Dutchess County. I'm delighted to welcome Bevan and Leno to Dutchess County here in the Hudson Valley. Our current economic activities here include things like major development in the arts with the renovation of the Beacon Theater, in retail with the expansion of Adams, in healthcare with Vassar Brother Medical Center in Poughkeepsie. We're building a 1,000-megawatt power plant, a state-of-the-art recycling facility, a couple of hotels, a distillery, and the finest maple syrup in the world, all while upgrading our infrastructure with planned communities, new dorms, and great restaurants. Dutchess County and the Hudson Valley prove daily that New York is open for business. Lastly, I'd like to thank our host, Dr. Marist, who's leading our efforts here as the co-chair of the Regional Economic Development Council, Bill Steinhaus for his leadership, and of course, Supervisor John Hickman, who will be our host and is our partner down in East Fishkill. I gotta tell you, I believe in the new New York, and I think Dutchess. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you Mr. Vincent Casalino, the co-founder of TSEC, also known as the Solar Energy Consortium. Please welcome Vince.
Thank you, everybody. It's very exciting for us, obviously, to announce another company coming to the region and creating jobs. I want to thank our host, Dr. Dennis Murray. I'm on the regional council, so I get to watch him in action, and he's so tireless and inspirational as a result of it, and I mean it. And thank you for coming to our aid and helping us figure out how to do this major announcement. Before I get on, there's one last technical thing that we have to do. John McEnroe told me there's one more form that has to be signed, correct? Before this deal is done. And Bevan has it in front of him right now, so we're going to give him an opportunity to take this pen, finish this up once and for all, John. You want to go over there and grab this? everything's done, and we'll be finished once and for all. Here we go. Thank you very much. John Necro is a longtime friend of mine when he had jobs in other places that I won't mention, and he also works around the clock. We've had calls, well, just around the clock, as I said. And so when John also, one of the things I'm not good at is the details, and John has to make sure at the end of the day that all things are lined up appropriately. Thank you. I also want to point out that many of the board members of the PSEC are here, and some of my colleagues, Bartley, Paul Keene, Hank Morrow from IBM, Carl Meyer, my co-CEO. And I want to acknowledge Jonathan Wong, if you just step up for a second. Jonathan, just stand for a second. Jonathan was our project manager for this deal. Okay, so let's get to it. So this really is not just about a company coming to the region. It's the continuation of many companies we have in this cluster that's emerging that some people call green tech, clean tech, whatever. We're calling it high-tech global manufacturing, global high-tech manufacturing. That's what we're talking about. So if you want to start by making solar cells and solar panels and solar thermal devices, that's great. If you want to make medical devices, we love you too. And we'll do that across the region that is the Hudson Valley. And one of the things I'm learning from the regional council, which didn't take much pushing on in my particular case, is that you know, everybody benefits. So if a company comes from Dutchess County, that's okay. Certainly good, and you know, in the traditional sense of the word, real estate is purchased, employees will maybe cross the bridge or come locally and work there and buy sandwiches, and that's all good. But what we tend to forget is the bank shot effect that happens all over the place. So Leno, we've been working with Leno for about a year, but to get this far, you know, there were lawyers involved, there were construction companies involved, there were insurance companies involved, there were CPA firms involved, and I will tell you, every one of those firms were located in either Orange, Sullivan, Ulster, Dutchess counties, and one in New York City. So already money is being spent in the economy by a company that happens to be located in New York County, in East Fishkill, right? So we got to think about this in the broadest scheme of things as we go on. So the company will make a $100 million investment, that's their own money, that they'll bring to this facility that we formerly called the IBM West Complex. No longer will ever be called that again. Hank and I both have a long history there, so that's that. I think it was about 12 years, Tom McCurtrick, or so that place was empty. So this is a repurposing of an existing asset, which is great. You'll hear more details in a second, but it's about 150 jobs next year, in 2012, and up to 1,000 jobs in the next couple of years after that. We'll talk more about that. 1 million square feet of manufacturing space is going to be used as the headquarters, the U.S. headquarters for Linuo, as well as their manufacturing facility. There'll be lots of local partners that will have to participate in this, that are in the supply chain. And Linuo has a strategy that says they would like to work locally. Like, where have I heard that before? I think local first. So we'll be practicing that. If you can expand the local to mean the region, we're perfectly in sync with that. And so, you know, this thing about a rising tide floats all boats really should take us forward as we go. Their next door neighbor, of course, is going to be the wonderful IBM Corporation, and you know, we'll see if there's opportunities between those companies too as time goes on. This has been about a year in the making. None of this stuff is easy. Bringing a Chinese company or any company to New York is always hard because there's competition all over the country. This happens to be a company that did a national search, and so we competed against many other states. And we were able to win them here, so we're very happy about that. But it did start with a meeting in New York City about a year ago, right, with Sam Natipoff, who at that time, Amy, was working for Empire State Development Corporation for then Governor Patterson as the international business attraction guy. And then he made a phone call to PSEC and said, I think we need your help, and let's try to win this company together. So Sam's no longer with the SDC, but lots of his folks, Charles Verdier and Cooney and others have helped us through this process, so we've had lots of help along the way. I want to mention there are incredible obstacles to overcome to do what we're announcing today, and I would have never guessed it. You know, having this is not really my field. This is something new for me, doing this job creation stuff. And I would never guess the obstacles that occur when you're bringing a Chinese company to the United States and have to create U.S. entities and have to convince the state of New York and the government of the United States that this is a real company or not a real company. And all the things we had to go through was probably much bigger than any of us when we started. We've all grown in the process. We could not have done this, though. Everything from getting visas to allow the Leno employees to come here, every one of those things was an escalation in the State Department. But not just in the U.S. State Department, but the equivalent in the China State Department. And so for that, we used Congressman Hinchy's office. He's a big believer in the solar field, and he made his staff available. We used them, and we were very appreciative for that help. Mark Molinaro for the every once in a while call to the second floor where we needed some help with the governor's office to keep focus on this project, and we want to thank Mark. And of course, Senator Slam, who we had, well, we can't really talk about those issues, but we had issues. and we asked Senator Slam to step in. He made some very strategic phone calls, but most importantly is he followed up each and every time. Did this get fixed? Did this get fixed? On and on. Don Christian, who's the president of SUNY New Paltz, who hosted the Leno team early on at Mohawk and at the campus, and we just tried to show them the beauty of the valley as a society. And last but not least, I want to mention a very good friend of many of us on this, who unfortunately passed away about a week and a half ago, Richard O'Byrne. And Richard was on the board of TSEC, the Solar Energy Consortium, and worked very closely with Mark and with Bevan, Senator Solan, John, myself, and others as we tried to make this deal. Richard is the only one of us, I think, who actually went to China in the past. And he had come back with a vision that said, we should start insourcing this stuff. We don't have to outsource to China. We can find companies and bring them here. He says, this is what Richard used to say. He used to say lots of chambers schedule trips to go to China, but they don't come back with anything. He said, we're going to come back with something. And so his legacy lives